Hello everyone, I'm Tyagi. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to explain the poem Keeping Quiet. Keeping Quiet, which is written by Pablo Neruda. Pablo Neruda, who was born in 1904 and completed his journey in 1973, is the pen name of Neftali Ricardo Reyes Basalto, who was born in the town of Parral in Chile. He won Nobel Prize for Literature in 1971. The poet talks about self-introspection. What do you mean by self-introspection? Means self-analysis. Self-analysis means to think about ourselves. Atma-chintan or Atma-nirikshan. So it is quite necessary to know whether whatever the deeds we have done are worth it or not. So it's a very beautiful poem and beautiful theme. The theme of the poem is necessity of quiet introspection. Why there is a need to do introspection? Creating a feeling of mutual understanding among human beings. It means if we are doing self-introspection, then only we will be able to think about the world, think about brotherhood, and think about the deeds that whether I am doing the work for myself only. So there will be a mutual understanding with the human being or among the human being. Let's know about two actions. Why should we count? क्या नीड है कि हमें कुछ टाइम बैठ करके काउंट करना है? It is a countdown to bring every single person on the planet to hold or to stop every action for a moment. If a person stops his action, then only he or she will be able to think about his or her deeds. Second, why should we stop? People involved in harmful and dangerous activities will stop doing them. If we will not do anything else, they will stop their harmful activities. All people would be in harmony for once and analyze where their actions are leading them to. उनके actions उन्हें किस side में ले जा रहे हैं, किस ओर ले जा रहे हैं, whether they are doing the good deeds or they are not doing the right actions. Let's have the line by line explanation of the poem. So let's see the explanation of the poem. The poem is, now we will count to 12 and we will all keep still. For once on the face of the earth, let's not speak in any language. Let's stop for 1 second and not move our arms so much. So in this poem, in this stanza of the poem, the poet is appealing. Now we will count up to 12. It means first of all, let's know. Number 12 is important as it refers to the hours of the day, 12 months of the year, or maybe the zodiac sign, or maybe the letters of the poem, because there are 12 letters in the poem, Keeping Quiet. Anything can be it. The poet wants to appeal to be quiet for a moment. So the poet is appealing, we will count to 12. We will count to 12 and we will all keep still. At that moment, we all will not do any work. We will be quiet. We will be silent. For once on the face of the earth, it means this situation will occur on the very first time on the earth. Let's not speak in any language. Any language may be the means of communication, verbal language or any sign language. So poet is appealing, no need to use any language to speak. Let's stop for a 1 second. Now the poet is appealing, let's stop for a second. Only for a second. And not move our arms so much. Arm is used for two things, that is weapon and body part. It means we will not move our arms to do the work and we will not use our weapons to fight or to have the quarrel. the poet wants all the people on the planet to stop talking or stop all the movements by the time he or she finishes counting up to 12. Since we would not speak for a while, barriers between, क्योंकि बोलने से क्या होता है, we have the confusion, we have the fight, the barriers between communities would break. All would speak the language of silence. सब कौन सी भाषा में बात करेंगे? साइलेंस की भाषा में बात करेंगे. A sense of brotherhood would prevail. Let's see the poetic devices of this stanza. There is we will. It means two closely placed words are started with the consonant sound. Then there is alliteration. Alliteration. We will in the both the lines. After that, for once on the face of the earth. Here earth is doing the work like a person. If a non-living thing is described as a human being, so there is a poetic device, personification. Personification. So यहाँ पर face है, as a human being has a face, the earth is also introduced as a face. Then let's. Two consecutive lines are started with the same word, so there is anaphora. Anaphora. When a word has two different meanings, so there is a poetic device, pun. This is the second stanza of the poem. It would be an exotic moment, without rush, without engines. We would all be together in sudden strangeness. Here the poet is appealing that this moment would be the exotic moment. Exotic means strange or peculiar, that is not familiar. So ये जो moment होगा ये कैसा होगा? बिल्कुल strange होगा. Whatever has not occurred till now. Without rush, without engines. So people will not rush here and there, and they will not do the work on machinery. We would all be together. All the people will be together because they all will do the work of self-introspection. In sudden strangeness, and there will be a sudden strangeness. Sudden means at random. Strangeness, that is peculiar thing, because if the people were thinking about ourselves, that there will be a harmony, there will be a sense of brotherhood. Now let's come to the poetic device of this stanza. Again there is without. One word is repeated here. If a word is repeated in any stanza or any in the poem, the poetic device is repetition. Again there is we would. Two closely placed words are started with the consonant sound, so there will be alliteration. Again sudden and strangeness, there is also alliteration. So these are the poetic devices in this stanza. So this is the third stanza of the poem. That is, fisherman in the cold sea would not harm whale, and the man gathering salt would look at his hard hands. Those who prepare green wars, wars with gas, wars with fire, victory with no survivor, would put on clean clothes and walk about their brothers in the shade doing nothing. Here the poet is conveying the message, the fishermen who used to go to the cold sea to catch the fishes, they will not do this work. It means the poet wants to convey the message, the people will not harm the animals. Second, and the man gathering salt would look at his hard hands, because at the time of gathering the salt, the person got their hand hurts. So at that time, they will cure their hands. They will look after their hands. Those who prepare green wards, the people who do the green wards, it is a symbol of deforestation. The people who cut the trees or do the work of deforestation, they will stop to do the work. Wars with gas, it means wars with gas, pollution. They will not create pollution. Wars with fire, they will not do any explosion. It means they will not do any destructive work. Victory with no survival, because if the person gets the victory and there is no survival to celebrate that victory, it is meaningless. Put on clean clothes. If there will be no fight, no bloodshed, the people will put on clean clothes. And clean clothes, it means they will change their perspective and walk about their brothers. It means they will live in peace and harmony all together in the shade doing nothing. They will sit in the protection and they will not do anything. They will do the introspection only, and a new feeling of unity and harmony would be experienced by the people. Let's say the poetic devices that is called C. If a noun is qualified by an adjective, then there is transferred epithet. Transferred epithet. This is the poetic device. After that, there is symbolism. As I have written here, symbolism. Brothers, it is the symbol of mankind. Green wars, deforestation. War with gas, pollution. War with fire, explosion. Clean clothes, change of perspective, and shade, protection. These are the symbols. And the word war is repeated again and again, so there will be repetition. Poetic device repetition is also here, and in the first three lines there is no any punctuation mark, so there will be enjambment poetic device. This is the next stanza of the poem. What I want should not be confused. Here the poet is appealing whatever he wants to convey the masses. The poet is not appealing to not to do anything with total inactivity. It means the poet is not conveying the masses that we should not do anything. We should not do our activities, but we should do introspection. Life is what it is about. So life is to live and let others to live. I want no truck with that. Truck means collide. The poet does not want to collide with death. If we were not so single-minded, not so single-minded means selfish. If we are not so selfish, if we are not thinking about ourselves, about keeping our lives moving, if we are not thinking that my life has to move smoothly, I don't want to know anything about anyone's life, and for once could do nothing. The poet is appealing that we should not think ourselves only, we should think about the humanity also. And for once could do nothing. For once he is appealing, please don't do anything except introspection. Perhaps a huge silence. Because if the people of the world, they all together will not do anything, there will be a huge silence, huge peace in the world. Might interrupt this sadness, or maybe our peace will interrupt our sadness. Which sadness? That we have, that sometimes we don't have this thing and that thing, we have to attain this thing and we are thinking about progress only. Of never understanding ourselves, because we are not understanding ourselves. What we need, we are just going to do the work. And of threatening ourselves with death. And we are threatening ourselves, we are going to be afraid ourselves about our deeds, and that one day we will collide with death, we will meet with death. If we are doing the introspection, if we are thinking about our deeds, we will improve our actions, so we will not need to worry about death. The poetic devices of the poem. There is we were. Again, two closely placed words are started with the consonant sound. So there is alliteration. Alliteration. Here, so single, two closely placed words are started with the S sound. Again, there will also be alliteration. So this is the last stanza of the poem. Perhaps the earth can teach us, as when everything seems dead and later proves to be alive. Now I will count up to 12 and you keep quiet and I will go. In this stanza, the poet is conveying the message that earth is the right way to teach us the lesson. As on earth, when everything seems dead, in the autumn season, when all the trees shed their leaves and the trees look like the barren. So, at that time, when everything seems dead, but later proves to be alive. Later in the spring season, new trees, new branches and new shoots bloom out from the trees. So again we can see the life on the earth. Now I will count up to 12. Now the poet is appealing to the readers that he will count up to 12 and all the readers, they will keep quiet and do the introspection and the poet will go. So here the poet wants to say, man too, just like the nature, just like the trees, just like the earth, the man too after quiet introspection could rise again and with renewed vigor and intention to be productive and progressive without any aggression and selfishness. So we can learn these lessons from the poem. Then poetic device. The earth teaches us a lesson. So earth is doing the work like a person. So there is personification. Personification poetic devices used here. So this is all about the poem. Thank you very much for listening me. Hope you got it.